Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm going to be doing the pre-rolls for turn 13 of 5 Parsecs from Home. This is a solo skirmish war game with a campaign story element to it. If you haven't watched any of my previous episodes, you really should go back in and watch them, because this video may not make much sense to you. Right now, my crew, Captain Tristani's crew, is on Key 4. They have three patrons who have been funneling them work, but they have slowly but surely been making enemies. I now have 2 rivals on this planet who are going to cause trouble for me. So I think it's probably time to wrap things up here and get out of town. So this will probably be my last battle report from Key 4. But before I do that, we need to see what's going to happen this particular turn. So I'm going to be starting on page 76, Upkeep and Ship Repairs. Well, there are no ship repairs to do, but I will have to spend 3 credits because I have an 8-member crew. Since this is the start of a turn, I have a purifier on my ship, which gives me +1 credit every turn. So I'm going to use that. And right now I have, I have 17, minus 3 is 14. I have 15 credits. Ship debt is none and no ship repairs to be made. However, pay for medical care. I do have a crew this is turn 13. I have a crew member named Blue Eyes, who is in the med bay. It says, if you have a crew in sick bay, you may pay 4 credits to remove 1 turn from a single character's recovery time. So if I pay that, he is available on turn 13. I believe that's how that works. He's not available until next turn 14. So I could pay the 4 credits to have him available now. Why would I want to do that? Well, he is +1 combat, and his toughness is 4, and Droon is sitting in for him with a +1 combat and a toughness of 4, so there's really no advantage right now to do that. Droon also has more XP than Blue Eyes. He has 5 to Blue Eyes 4, so he's more likely to get some XP this next game, which could improve his stats. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Blue Eyes just sit. He'll be available next turn, so I'm not going to do the medical care. So for step 2, you assign crew tasks. Now I'm down a crew. I cannot assign Blue Eyes to a task. So I only have 7 crew. Obviously, do I need to find a patron? Yes, I do. I have 3 patrons. They don't automatically give me work, but what they do is they give me a better advantage of getting more jobs, and I'll explain that in a minute. So one of the jobs I'm going to be doing is to find a patron. I could train. I'm not sure if I need to do that yet. I'm going to trade. I'm going to explore. I don't need to recruit. I've got a full crew of 8. I don't want any more else. I'm not going to track down my rivals. I don't want to pick a fight with them. There's 2 of them. I don't need to do any repairs. And decoy, help avoid rivals finding you. I'm probably going to do that because right now I have 2 rivals. And the way this works is when you roll to see if the rivals track you down, you roll a d6. If you roll equal to or less than the number of rivals you have, then you have to fight a rival battle versus, say, doing an opportunity job or a patron job. So, because I have two patrons, I roll a d6, and 2 or less, which is basically a 1 in 3 chance, I'm going to have to fight a rival battle. But I can avoid that by bumping the roll up to 3 by assigning 2 crew to that. So if I assign 2 crew to that, I get +1 for each crew. So if I roll a 1, I get a 3. If I roll a 2, I get a 4. So that's a guarantee to not have to fight a rival this turn, which is really what I'm going for. Finding a patron, I've got 3 patrons, so I automatically get a +3 bonus there. So if you roll a 5, you roll a d6, and if you roll a 5, you get 1 new job. If you roll a 6, you get 2 possible jobs, 1 with a new patron and 1 with one of your pre-existing patrons. So I really want to roll a 6 or higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another +1 crew to add 4 to that. So the lowest I can get is a 5. I'm going to get at least 1 job, but I'm hoping to roll a 6 or higher. That leaves me with 3. I've got 4 crew left over 3 things. I guess I'm not going to train this turn. I'm going to put 2 on trade and 2 on explore. So let's go ahead and roll and see what happens there. All right, so let's do the patron. So you roll a d6. I'm going to add +4 to this roll. I rolled a 6, so I will get 2 jobs, and we'll get to that in a minute. I'm not doing any training. Trading. Okay, so here's the trade table. You roll a d100, and I'm going to roll two d10s, green is high. The first crew member gets a 21, which is a med pack. All right, so the trade is a med pack. Receive your choice of a stim pack or med patch. So it's either a med patch or a stim pack. And let me look those up to see what they do, because obviously I need to make a choice. It's back here. The equipment is back on starts on page 53. So protection, it's not under protection, it's under, what is it under? Stim patch. All right, a stim pack. If a character would become a casualty, they remain on the table with a single stun marker. The item is used reflexively upon a casualty. That's actually not bad. That would have helped Huala out on this last battle. A med patch. What is a med patch? I don't see a med patch. Where is that? I'm not seeing med patch listed under consumables. I assume that is a consumable. I just see stim pack, but it's got to be here somewhere. Let's just keep looking. Med patch. Med patch. Okay. A character recovering from an injury may subtract 1 campaign turn from the recovery duration. You know what? I've got insurance from previous adventures, so I'm going to take the stim pack, which is awesome. It gets rid of a casualty. All right, so let's get back to rolling things up. Let's see. The second trade is a 38, which is a useless trinket. Roll 1d6. On a 6, you get +1 story point. All right, roll a 6. Come on. I do not. All right, so got nothing there. 2 more are going to explore. That starts on page 80. It's also a D100. Green is high. 34. Got yourself noticed. If you have rivals, select one. You have to fight them this turn. You know what? Nope. I am going to burn a story point and get rid of that. I don't like doing rival fights. Mainly because they just don't get you anything. I'm going to burn -1 story point. So I am down to 3 now. That's what they're for. You're supposed to use them when you don't like the results of a roll or something along those lines. 88. 88 is offered a reward. When fighting this campaign turn, select a random terrain feature. If a crew member moves into contact and spends a combat action, you can retrieve a package to get +2 credits. Absolutely. All right, so I rolled an 88, which is offered a reward. I'll have to remember this. I always write down my roll just so I can reference it later if I forget what it is. And it's +2 credit if a crew, 1 action in contact with a piece of terrain. All right, so that was the first explorer. Second Explore is 75, which is a promising lead. Earn +3 credits if you do an opportunity mission this turn. So I rolled a 75, and that is a promising lead. But I have to do an op mission, and that means I can't do a Patreon mission. So we'll see. We don't have to decide right now. Okay, so I did 2 trade, I did 2 explore. Now I got to do the decoy. Well, the decoy is a given. Whatever I roll, 4 + 2 is 6. None of the rivals are able to cause me any trouble this time. All right, so that is it for step 2. And now we go on to step 3, find the jobs. So remember, I get a new patron, and I get one of my random previous patrons. Now the last 2 were wealthy, and there's 2 of them are wealthy, and one is private org. So what I'm going to do is 1 to 2, it's a private org. 3 to 6, it is a wealthy. It's a 6, so I've got a wealthy as a returning patron, and the new patron, you roll on the table on page 83, you roll a d10, and it is a 10, which is a secretive group. Secretive group. Okay, so, and it's +1 to the time frame roll. Okay, I'll have to remember that. All right, so let's do this. Let's do danger pay, see if there is any. So you get to figure out what the jobs are first before you turn them down and choose an opportunity mission if you want to do that route. So danger pay. So for the wealthy, you roll a d10. 4 is +1 credit. For the secretive group, it is 7, which is +2 credits. All right, let's go on to the time frame. First, for the wealthy, it is a 2, which is this turn. And for the secretive group, I add 1 to this roll. So I rolled a 6, which is this or next. Or next turn. All right. Let's see. Benefits, hazards, and conditions. All right. Now for benefits, you roll on this chart depending on what you are. So I'm doing benefits for a wealthy. I need to roll a 5 or higher. I did. So there are benefits. For the secretive group, there are benefits on an 8 or higher, and there are none. So let's roll for the benefits. That's on page 83. Roll a d10. Fringe benefits. You get a roll on the loot table, an extra roll. That may be worth the difference in the +1, +2 credits. No benefits for the secret group. All right, are there hazards? Hazards for the wealthy is 8 or higher. There are not. For the secretive group, it's 5 or higher. There are not. There are no hazards. None and none. And then finally, conditions. For the wealthy, it's an 8 or higher. I did not get it. For the secretive, 8 or higher. 9. So there are conditions. So none for the wealthy. The conditions are on page 84. I rolled a 4, which is a small squad. Max 4 crew. I do not like that. So right now, I'm looking at, I get an extra loot roll, +1 danger pay, but it has to be done this turn. I can either choose a patron job or I can choose an opportunity job, but to do the opportunity, I have to turn down the wealthy and decide. So you have to decide first. If you are not, you may select from one of the options below. If you have an active patron, carry out always available. I'm pretty certain the way the rules are is that you're supposed to pick which one you're going to do. You don't get to test the waters on the opportunity. You either have to, I could be wrong, but that's the way I read it. So do I do the opportunity or do I do the patron job? I'm leaving this planet, so getting an extra patron is just not going to. Now, if I come back to this planet, it could be beneficial because I would come back with 4 patrons here. A persistent patron follows you from planet to planet. but I don't have any of those. So I think having 3, and if I do a patron job and I do it successfully, I'll have 4 patrons on this planet if I ever come back. But remember, I get that +3 extra credits if I do an opportunity mission, which is way better than this. And previous jobs, I had some that could be done at any time. As a matter of fact, the pre-rolls for turn 12, I had a wealthy client that was +3 credits, danger pay, and you get to roll twice for the higher payment. It could be done this or the next 2 turns. It's a hot job, so on a roll of 1 to 2, that would become a rival. There's no conditions, no benefits, but it's +3 credits and +2 payments, and it really is not that. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna take a risk, and I'm gonna do an opportunity job. I haven't done one in a while. I'm gonna turn down the patron jobs. We're going to do an op job. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to page 88. And I'm doing the opportunity patron column, which is interesting. I turned down a patron job, but they're using the same column. You roll a D100, and it tells you what kind of deployment condition you're going to get. So I rolled a 69. 69 is delayed. 2 random crew members will not start at the table. At the end of each round, roll a d6. If the roll is equal to or below the round number, they may be placed at any point on your battlefield edge. Man. All right, so that stinks. Wow. I don't want to burn another story point to re-roll that. So I'm starting with 4 characters instead of 6. Well, I did say I was going to do it. So, all right, so I rolled a delayed. So, -2 crew initially. All right, the notable site is a D100 on page 89. I rolled a 92, which is curious item. And it says, roll a d6. On a 1 to 4, it can be sold for 1 credit. On a 5 or 6, you roll on the loot table. Well, good. I got the loot table. So let's see what the curious item is. Page 131. You're supposed to determine it now. So roll a d100 on the loot table, page 131. It is a 14, which is a weapon. It's always a weapon. So on the weapon subcategory, it is a 43, which is a energy weapon. Well, sounding pretty good. And then on the energy weapon, you roll a D100, and it is a 9, which is a hand laser, which I can only sell for 1 credit, unfortunately. So that's, it's an extra credit. Okay, determine the objective. Let's do that. The objective, I'm doing an op mission, so I roll on this table right here on page 89. I rolled an 8. It is patrol. I remember this one. Patrol is you have to touch a certain number of terrain. Tally up the number of large terrain features, and using a suitable die, select 3 at random. During the battle, a crew member must end a move within 2 inches of each feature. Once all 3 have been checked, you win. Okay, that's fine. So the objective is a patrol mission. And then it's not a rival job. Determine the enemy. All right, here we go. I'm not fighting a rival, so I am doing just a standard opportunity. So you go to page 94, and I'm doing an opportunity mission, so I'm going to be using the opportunity column here to determine which of these 4 enemy types. I rolled a 4, which I should have known. It's a criminal element. I always get criminal element. But then again, they have a high, well, now it's an equal percentage, 1 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 80, 80. It's not exactly equal, but it's a higher chance of getting a criminal element. All right, then you go to the criminal element table, and you roll a D100, and you see what you get for the battle. I rolled a 61, which is pirates. Hey, all right, I've never fought pirates before. Pirates are +2 number. Ooh, that's not good. They panic on a 1 to 3. That's good. They have a move of 5, plus 0 combat, which is good for me, and their toughness is 4. And they are aggressive, and they roll on 2A for their weaponry. All right. So now we know what they are. And by the way, on the criminal elements, it says when setting up, roll a d6. If you score a 1 to 3, that many bonus credits are paid out if you hold the field. So I need a 1 to 3. I rolled a 3. So I will get plus 3 cred if I hold the field. So right now I'm looking at I get plus 3 for doing the op mission, plus 3 for holding the field. That's 6 credits. The hand laser I can sell for 1, so that's 7 credits automatically. And remember, I get 2 rolls for the payment, and I get to pick the higher one. So this is looking like a very good paying job, assuming I survive it, which the pirates, they're not too scary. Now, the pirates do have an extra ability. It says loot. Gain an extra loot roll if you hold the field. This is just getting better and better. All right, because pirates have loot, right? All right, so let's go back now and we determine the number. So I have the campaign's crew size of 6. Even though I'm only bringing 4 initially, I still have to treat them as 6. You roll 2d6 and you take the higher number. And I rolled a 3 and a 2. So we'll take the 3. Now remember, their number is plus 2. So right now I have 5 pirates. And it says, if you encounter 3 to 6, 1 will be a specialist. If you encounter 4 or more, 1 will be a lieutenant. So it's typical. I'm going to have 3 thug pirates, 1 specialist pirate, and 1 lieutenant. Seems to be the one I always get. All right, and we'll roll them up, or we'll find out what their weapons are in a minute. Then I have to roll to see if there's a unique individual. You roll 2d6, and on a roll of 9 or higher, you get a unique. I rolled a 9, so I also get 1 unique. So let's go to the unique table and see what that is. That is on page 105. It's a D100, and that's an 87. 87 is a Gene Dog. Gene Dog has a speed of a move of 6. Wow, fast. Combat is plus 1. Toughness of 4. I don't know what GAI is. I'll have to look that up. Guarded, maybe? I don't know. No luck. Fangs, damage plus 0. But it says loyal. When owner or dog move into a brawl, it is not resolved until both have had a chance to act. If the owner is slain, the dog becomes fearless and remains in place, but attacks anyone that approaches within 8 inches. So I'll assign the Gene Dog, I guess, to the lieutenant, right? That's his personal pet. So basically, when an owner or dog moves into a brawl, it is not resolved until both have had a chance to act. All right. So that means they could both run down a single player and beat up on them. All right, so I have that. Now let's do the weapons. The weapons is on page 104. The thugs, it's 2A, so I'll be rolling on the second column here. You roll a d6. The thugs are carrying colony rifles. The specialist rolls on the A column. 6, a handgun and a ripper sword. Okay. Handgun plus ripper sword. And the lieutenant is rolling a 4, which is a cling fire pistol. That sounds like pirates. They both have pistols and a sword. Cling fire pistol. Let's take a look and see what that is. A cling fire has a range of 12, 2 shots, plus 1 damage. It's focused and terrifying. Let's figure out what that means. That doesn't sound good. Focused. All shots must be against a single target. Terrifying. Any target hit must retreat 1d6 away from the fire. Okay. All right. But that range really is not good. That's too bad. What was it? Cling fire, range of 12. All right. So that is what I will be going up against. All right, so now I have the next battle for my crew on Key 4. If this goes well for me, I should have a good payout, some good loot rolls, some credits, and this will probably, if it pays well, I'm going to get out of this planet, so I don't have to keep avoiding these rivals. All right, that is it for the pre-rolls for turn number 13. Thanks for joining me. The next video in this series will actually be the battle against the pirates. Hope you'll join me for that. But until then, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me, and everybody, take care.